Registration, Evaluation, Authorization and Restriction of Chemicals REACH. History and background. The European Commission's White Paper of 2001 on a future chemical strategy proposed a system that requires chemicals manufactured in quantities of greater than 1 ton to be registered. Those manufactured in quantities greater than 100 tons to be evaluated, and certain substances of high concern, for example carcinogenic, mutagenic and toxic to reproduction CMRs, to be authorized. On 13th February 2001, the European Commission adopted a white paper setting out the strategy for a future community policy for chemicals. The European Commission's original legislative proposal on REACH COM 0364401 and COM 0364402 amending Directive 67/548/EEC was adopted on 29 October 2003 and was communicated to both the European Parliament and the Council in November 2003. The work in the European Parliament has been led by the Committee on the Environment, Public Health and Food Safety, with in first reading the assistance of 9 other parliamentary committees. The European Parliament adopted its first reading opinion on 17 November 2005. The Council reached a political agreement for a common position. The Environment Council formally adopted the common position on June 2006, which served as the basis of discussion for during the second reading in the European Parliament, which started in September 2006. A Commission communication on the common position was adopted on 12th July 2006 and submitted to the European Parliament and Council, allowing the second reading to commence. The representatives of the European Parliament and the Council found a negotiated agreement of the final version of REACH in early December 2006. This agreement was subsequently endorsed at second reading in the European Parliament on 13 December 2006 and got finally adopted at the Environment Council on 18 December 2006. The text of the law was published on 30 December 2006 in the Official Journal of the European Union L396. The new EU Chemicals Regulation REACH entered into force on 1st June 2007. Press release. The new European Chemicals Agency in Helsinki, Finland will be fully operational on 1st June 2008 in the time for the industry's obligation to submit pre-registration dossier for existing substance and registration dossiers for new substances. Objectives of REACH: provide a high level of protection of human health and environment from the use of chemicals, allow free movement of substances on the EU market, enhance innovation and the competitiveness of the EU chemicals industry, reduce animal testing by promoting the use of alternative methods of assessing chemicals. REACH policy: no data, no market. The REACH regulation places responsibility on industry to manage the risk from chemicals and to provide safety information on the substances. Manufacturers and importers are required to gather information on the properties of their chemical substances, which will allow their safe handling. Members of ECHA: European Union, European Economic Area EEA countries, Norway, Ireland and Liechtenstein. UK follows UK REACH after Brexit. Substances to be registered. There is a special transition regime for substances which were already manufactured or placed on the market before REACH entered into force. Such substances are called phase-in substances. Companies benefit from the transitional regime if they pre-registered their substances by 1st December 2018. or in certain circumstances made a lateral pre-registration before the relevant registration deadline. Substances that fulfill at least one of the following criteria may be considered as phase-in substances in accordance with REACH. Substances listed in the European Inventory of Existing Commercial Chemical Substances EANECS. Substances that have been manufactured in the EU, including the countries that joined on 1st January 2007 but have not been placed on the EU market after 1st June 1992. Substances that qualify as no longer polymer. Non-phase-in substances or substances that do not fulfill any of the criteria for phase-in substances are considered as non-phase-in substances. Normally, non-phase-in substances have not been manufactured, placed on the market or used in the EU before 1st June 2008 unless they were notified under the Dangerous Substances Directive 67/548/EEC. Potential manufacturers and importers of non-phase-in substances have to submit an inquiry to ICA and subsequently register the substances before they can manufacture or import the substance. All substances notified under the Dangerous Substance Directive are also called nouns, are considered to be registered under REACH, and ICA has assigned registration numbers to all the notifications. The owners of the notifications can claim the registration numbers from ICA. Who need to register? You need to register if you are an EU manufacturer or importer of substances on their own or in a mixture. EU producer or importer of articles meeting the criteria explained in the guidance on requirements for substances in articles. Only representative established in the EU and appointed by a manufacturer, formulator or article producer established outside the EU to fulfill the registration obligations of importers. REACH only representative. REACH requires all companies manufacturing or placing a substance on the EU market in quantities greater than 1 ton per year to register that substance with the European Chemicals Agency. For legal reasons, only companies with a legal entity in Europe are allowed to submit a registration. However, non-EU companies may submit registration by appointing an EU-based only representative to register on their behalf, in which case their importers will be regarded as downstream users and do not need to do registrations. Substance identification. Substance identification is a process by which the identity of the substance is established. Accurate identification of the substance is a prerequisite to most REACH, CLP and biocides processes. In particular, it enables joint REACH registration to be prepared efficiently and correctly and ensures that test data is appropriate for the substances registered under REACH. This leads to a robust hazard and risk assessment of the registered substances. The correct identification of a substance will also enable the sharing of information to prevent unnecessary animal testing and costs. The use of test data across companies and read across within a group of substances. The assessment of whether a substance is included in the authorization list, the list of restrictions, or has a harmonized classification and labeling. Typically, the identity of a substance can be described by a chemical name, for example, benzene, a number, for example, EC number 200-7537, and a chemical composition, for example, greater than 99% benzene and less than 1% toluene. The composition is determined by chemical analysis. The details of reach will continue in the next video. Do what? Stay safe. Thank you.